That's not for me. Yeah.
Midwestern Maya.
See,
Love it.
she got it. Yeah.
Plus flex.
She got it. She got it. So Laura,
Yes.
do you know that in T-minus 2 hours and 45 minutes, I get to leave my home to go meet you on a street corner so that we can go start making our pre-party, and then go see Beyonce tonight?
The world is trying to not let me be excited about this. The group chat's blown up with like weather, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know
Not
what?
here.
The last time Beyonce, Giselle, Noelle Carter was in the Chicagoland area performing the Renaissance tour, I was on my bicycle in 103-degree weather riding across the state of Iowa, and I knew.
A weird choice.
I looked into my soul that day and said, "You've made a bad choice," and I vowed to myself that I would not miss the next opportunity to go. And then Beyonce blessed us with the banger of an album called Cowboy
Better
Carter,
than Renaissance, honestly.
which
better than
for
Renaissance.
me personally is true.
Same.
Is the truth.
Yes. Same.
And I cannot believe that I get to go and have this experience. So I'm freaking thrilled. Even if whatever, the Soldier Field gets picked up by a tornado and plopped in the middle of Kansas.
What a way to go, Laura. What a way to go.
I have had a great run. 40 is a nice even number for the Tombstone.
You know, at this point, if we get on the other side of the rainbow with Beyonce, that's only got to be an improvement on this nightmare. This black and white trash.
Best. So, yeah. So I have my skirt hanging right back here. I have no pants on right now.
This is my outfit, Laura. This is my outfit.
I love it. I love it. Well, Braille approves too.
Oh, actually, I think I need to go get documentation that's being delivered to my home. So, Laura,
important. Well, we'll talk about my outfit. All right. So you're only seeing my grandma's jewelry, first of all. All right. See the roses, right? The roses. Then I thrifted this shirt yesterday because whatever. I had vest dreams, but you know, they didn't have to come to fruition. So I've got this little puffy sleeve shirt that I thrifted. Fine.
I think it's cute.
Then I made this amazing gingham skirt. And I'm gonna wear these sport shorts underneath it. Hell yeah. And then the pièce de résistance are these earrings that say yeehaw and are glitter cowboy hats. So I'm ready. You know,
those
Rosalie,
are very cute.
Thank you. Rosalie sent us an article about how awesome everybody's outfits are going to be. And I appreciated it because, of course, Allyson, you look great and very on theme. But I knew how hard everybody was going to bring it. And so the pressure, it just feels way off. I'm like, I just want to dress on theme in a way that makes me happy. But I'm not winning this. I'm not winning this night. I certainly won't outdress Beyonce or any of her team. I won't dress 90% of the people there. Yes. I won't dress out. I'll dress 90% of the people there. But so the pressure's off and I can just have a good time. So
that is also how I felt. And as I wandered home after the show last year, and I was literally climbing over the bodies of women who wore the silver cowboy boots and the silver, the silver fits. They just gave up on leaving Soldier Field and they laid on the ground. That's where the bar is set for me. I don't want to lay on the ground and need to be found tomorrow morning.
This was a really instructive anthropological experience that Allyson had, because while I was in that field in Iowa, Allyson was there renaissancing.
I did.
Watching
I renaissanced.
Beyonce fly away on a golden horse. And she saw this happen. And I took it into my mind because That is what we like to call a classic blunder, okay? What people don't know about cowboy boots is that you can't just wear them. And a lot of people are about to make it's too late now if you're watching
And
live.
it's so
Too
fucking
late
hot
now.
today in Chicago. It's so
Yes.
fucking hot. Your
So
feet
you've got
are
a doubler.
well. It's
You've got a doubler. You needed to wear them for a month with two socks that's too big, two sizes too big, and
yeah,
walk around your house for a month. And then you
yes,
can start wearing those boots. And
yeah.
now it's 90 and you have had little shriveled feet for the
Goodbye,
last 2 weeks.
goodbye.
It's
Yes,
they're not even getting in to this at this
we will
point.
be
People don't
stepping
know.
over their bodies.
People do not know. We are too far
Uh,
north for people to understand cowboy boots. We're too far north. And it's gonna get grizzly.
it's gonna be ugly. Yeah, it's gonna be
I
ugly,
was going
especially if it does storm and it rains, and then
Yes.
those cowboy boots are wet, fresh leather, 90 degrees. They're never gonna walk again.
No, no. I'm taking several blister band-aids. I think that's going to be the equivalent of bringing extra tampons. Like I'm just going to be handing those out like candy. But I have to do a shoe change because I was going to do a sensible shoe is the point of this story. Sensible. But I was going to do a tennis shoe, a sneaker, a high top. But I am worried about the rain. So we are back to our platform Crocs, which do give me a little bit of a blister. So I'm going to band-aid up. And that's what's happening. Got to do the
I'm doing
platform
my platform croc
Mhm.
as well. My new platform croc.
Yes.
Navy matching.
Nice.
I platformed croc last year too. I had to walk basically 17 miles uphill in the snow to get back home after the show last year. And so sometimes as an adult woman, you get to say words like, I will pay any amount of money to fix this problem. And so as a group, we all said, I will pay any amount of money to fix this problem. And Rosalie, bless her heart, she got us a car service.
She did.
And so we are like adults. This is what's great about being 40, Laura. You get to just throw money at problems, and then you don't have a problem anymore.
Listen, the cost of these tickets famously are insane. Okay. And it was a lot to part with, but you have to accept the reality that that is just the beginning of the money that you're parting with for this evening, and just let it happen, because sitting in this moment right now, never been happier, never been more confident, more self-assured that things are going to be fine. Like I'm covered and I can just enjoy. So I am not living in the anxiety. I am just letting it happen, and I'm prepared for a very long night. Very long.
I even did this thing, Laura, where my phone right now is plugged in because I keep being like, you can't leave the house with the phone at like 42%. Yes, bitch. See, but I do feel like if my phone dies, there's a car that's going to come and pick me up somewhere and take me home. Where before I had a dead phone and I had to illegally take the Brown line. Allegedly, I had to climb over.
I don't know what the statute of limitations is. But
listen, you can take my $2.50. If there was any way that I could have given anyone money, I would have done it. There was no way for me to give anyone money because everything is through your phone. I couldn't access my account. Phone. I didn't have cash. I couldn't get a card because I didn't have my account. I was like, this is too much. If someone wants to arrest me, take me to a North Side prison, okay? And then I will be closer to my home. No one wanted to arrest me though. And then everyone else jumped over the rails too. And we were like, yay, Beyonce. It was great. Yeah, it was great. But that won't happen this time.
No, except for the yay Beyonce part, of course. But
of course.
You know, famously, on my third date with Mr. Brooklong, he made
Ooh.
a mistake.
Yes, he
An
did make a
a
mistake, one that we
potentially
remember every day.
lethal, potentially
Yeah.
lethal mistake
Mhm.
insofar as he would never get to see me again, where he said the phrase that he said the phrase, I think Beyonce is overrated. And I disabused him of that notion so hard, and because he is a lawyer, loved my argument, and he's not my boyfriend. So he walked it way back, continues to walk it back, because he's just wrong. He is wrong. I think overrated is just like, even if you're not a Beyonce fan, which okay, overrated is wrong. Like, you cannot be a Black woman in the United States of America and be overrated. That is just
And
not
like have
possible.
an ease such an easy time that everyone around you is like, wow, yay, I'm rooting for her. That
Because
does
yeah, 100%. You cannot
no.
tell me. You just can't. If you can be the hater of all haters and not enjoy anything to do with the Carters, but
Yeah.
you cannot deny how hard that woman works. You can't. You can't. So you just have to shut up. Is really what
Yeah.
it's like. You don't have to be a fan, but you just have to shut up.
And
That's my rule.
what white men in this country don't understand is you don't need to have an opinion about things that don't have anything to do with you.
No,
You
go
don't want to
listen to
listen to
Bruce
Beyonce?
Springsteen
Right,
and leave
right.
me
And
alone.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just leave me alone.
exactly.
Yeah.
Go away. Go away.
Mhm.
Say, I love that for you. I hope you have a great time. Now I'm
Mhm.
going to go listen to Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
right? And just shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. That's
Mhm.
what you do.
And I'm waiting for the comments to be like, "Well, I really like Springsteen. Pink Floyd's actually."
And
I'm not
guess what?
saying not
I
they're
don't give a
not.
fuck. Yeah.
Not saying they're not, because what am I doing? I'm shutting up about it. Who cares? What I do enjoy is Beyonce. And you know what I really enjoy in a concert experience is a goddamn show. And you're not gonna
Oh
I
my
want
God.
capital S show.
Bitch is
Show.
gonna put on a goddamn show. Two things that struck me at my first concert, Laura, and I'm so excited to have a
Mhm.
debrief with you tomorrow
Mhm.
once
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
like wander up and get some food.
Yes.
Um, Two things that struck me is one, I was as close to the most beautiful woman on the planet as I have ever been in my life. Like, I think just being like removed through a screen from her, you like tap down her actual like beautiful face. But like seeing her in person, I was like, how is she so beautiful? And also,
Hmm.
her voice is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you listen to Beyonce all the time and you're like, wow, she's a really beautiful singer. But then when you're there, you're just like, I didn't know. I knew, but I
Oh,
didn't know. Oh,
I
just
can't.
can't wait to be in the sunshine of her, in the light of her.
Yes. You know, and I went from Beyonce's cool, these songs are kinds of bops, to full member of the Beehive was Homecoming, was the
I know.
motion picture event Homecoming on Netflix.com.
Yes.
That album and motion picture, live motion, whatever we call it,
Experience. Yes.
uh, is on repeat in my life at all times. It is still could just tears right now thinking about it. Like, it just is a
Yes.
very important piece of work in my life.
Mhm.
And I that made me be like, yes, I have to see her live. I have to. So this
Yeah.
is a big day. It's a big day.
It's a big day.
And it's
Yeah,
been
it's
a
a big
running
day.
joke with Brooke, but not really, where if we're having a quiet moment, I say, it's pretty fucked up that you haven't congratulated me today. And he'll be like, what do you mean? And I'll say, because I'm gonna go see Beyonce. And he's like, you're right. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And yeah, that's how it's a big day. And I don't care
Yeah.
that I'm overhyping it too much. I don't care,
You
because
aren't.
I'm
We're not.
that excited. I'm that
Yeah.
excited. So
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good deal. Mhm.
It's going to be very fun. Hanging with friends is always fun, like Lisa Weissman said in
Yes.
the chat. Party bus with Rosalie. Yeah, we're just a bunch of girls just going out on the town, visiting our queen
Yeah.
for the evening and her children, all
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
gonna be
Yeah.
she, theys, and gays all over the place, and that is where I am. I am not overrated. That is exactly where I want to be at all times. So, ladies and gentle
Yes.
days, we're on our way,
Yes, we
and
are. Yes,
it's gonna
we
be
are.
great. It's gonna
Yeah.
be great. And I
Yeah.
do I don't know if Blue Ivy's gonna be there. People keep asking, and I'm like, well, I obviously don't know. But whatever happens, I will be thoroughly approved. I approve. When she goes on at 11 p.m., I approve. Whatever, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Hailstorm, fine.
Yep.
Tornadoes, cool. Whatever. I'm pretty sure Soldier Field has been there for 100 years. I think it'll keep standing. I actually don't care. I'll call
Yeah,
my mom, say goodbye.
I'm ready. I can just get on that golden horse to heaven and fly up. It'll be great. Am I still audible? I think I am. But we might be having the headphone difficulty. Okay, great. Thank you, Lisa. She's working on it. But yeah, I love the vest look, Allison, and I wish that I had been able to pull it off in time, but I just ran out of motivation knowing how hard we were going to be I'll use I statements, how hard I was going to be outdressed at this function. So I did the skirt, and that's what I got. But
I can't wait to see the whole look. I'm super excited to be in gingham. I think it works.
Yeah.
This is just it. I think we're doing this.
Well. But you got your important package?
No, I didn't. It was for my new upstairs neighbors.
Oh.
I'm waiting on my report, my background report from the FBI that has just been apostilled by the International Apostilling Group Company.
Saying a lot of words. Yeah, that's very important.
To be delivered, and it needs a signature. And of course, FedActual.com is telling me that it will be delivered sometime today before 2:15. So I heard that it's going to have like a
wax seal.
Seal.
Talk about an unboxing. Damn.
Right?
It's like getting a Hogwarts letter. Bad reference in these times.
Hogwarts can live.
Yeah.
It's just J.K. Rowling we hate. But yeah, I did my hard launch this week of my move to Portugal, Laura, and started talking about
You're moving to Portugal?
Oh God, did I not tell you this already?
I had this like the 5-minute before live meeting on my calendar, but I was like, oh, I'll just talk to her about it on the live. Whoa, this is a lot. That's a lot, Allison.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you're moving to Portugal. And guess what, everybody? I knew and I have known for a really long time.
Yeah, for a really long time.
Are we blowing minds? Because apparently we are.
I think it's sweet that everyone is so worried about you and us.
Yeah. I need to present a more stable public facing persona, I guess, because people are they're always like, Allison will be fine. Laura's a mess. So
I know it's what they did when we left Note 1 too.
Yep. Just constant like, but Allison will be okay, but you, I don't know. And it's like, good point, I guess. But no, this is it's a hard launch. I think that was a very, very well selected title of your blog post and your Instagram post and your newsletter, because it's something that you have been telling people over time. And, I just, I don't think Ponka will mind me saying, Ponka and I were just knitting together before the live on Zoom. And she was like, yeah, I've known for a while. And I was like, right. Like, if you've been around, you've heard discussion of this. But we needed to let the whole world know. And so you pulled the trigger. How has the response been, Allyson?
So supportive. People are super excited, which is fun. I always feel like when people do crazy things, I want to know about it. So I'm always like, oh, what was this process like? What was this process like? What was this process like? So it was good to hear that other people are like that too, because I would hate to be like, here's my progress, and everyone be like crickets. But yeah, people are interested in too. It's a wild process. Just the apostille, I had to learn that word. So I learned that word. It's just like all of the hoops that they make you jump through for this visa, I think is really crazy and funny. So I'm glad that other people are interested in it too. So that's nice. So yeah, I'm going to keep talking about it and keep making updates throughout the process, especially as I get to do fun things, like find an apartment and stuff, and then actually move, and not the boring stuff, like stress out about the bank account, like opening a bank account. Though I did literally just get an email about that my bank account has been approved.
That's huge.
They don't just give bank accounts to anybody who wanders in the bank in Portugal. You have to really work for it. So I've been really working for it.
Yeah, how about that? Weird. Crack down on fraud. How about that?
They're really trying to crack down on fraud. So yeah. So moving in the right direction. Feeling good about it. Did you watch that first season of Welcome to Wrexham?
I did.
One thing that Shane and I keep talking about is in the first couple of episodes when they're talking about mounting costs and all the grass dies on the field, and they're like $100,000 for grass, and they're losing their minds. And then a couple of more episodes in, they're just like, oh, $600,000 for this? Who cares? That's how Shane and I feel. At first we were like, $300 for apostilling, or $50 for fingerprints, and now we're just like, oh, $10,000 to ship the cats over, whatever, on to the next thing. Once the money starts rolling, that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna start telling people now, because
for sure,
this is happening, or I'm gonna die.
Well, you and I talk about how we have been extremely online for our adult lives. We are that age where we've been early adapters of all of the technology. We were there for the MySpace era, the early Facebook era, the everybody had a craft blog era. We're creatures of online. And a lot of you found us through Instagram, through other social media. And it's really jarring when people just pop up after an international move and they're like, guess what, I'm here. And you're like, but and they just make it seem like ta-da, and you're scrolling through old posts for clues or anything, and you're like, what the hell, I need more context. So as has someone that has combed through past posts or looked at old Instagram profile, Instagram pics, and tried to piece things together with no information, it's so nice to have the heads up, I'm going to take you along in the process, because you're cool, it's not going to be because that's not the truth. When somebody pops up and has made even a cross-country move, and they're like, oh, I'm holding keys to my new place, and you're like, that was harder than you're presenting it, and I want more information. So I, for one, as your number one biggest fan, appreciate the transparency up front, because the people want to know. We all want to know.
Because we want to know. We want to know. I always hate when, people go dark for 3 months, and then they're like, I had this baby. And you're like, what? Or you start getting the pics of the husband start going away, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, we're scrubbing. The scrubbing happens. Yes, it is
Scrubbing
mostly
happens
around
there.
breakups when you have to do this kind of research. And you noticed I call it research and not being incredibly invasive and stalking, but it's research. But you all know what I'm talking about out there. You're not better than me, and it's really nice to have that to go along with the process, because even you've talked about too. Like, one of the first things that you mentioned is that you've gone with do we call them like concierge service, a relocation service? What do you call the company that you're working with?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. They're helping like visa facilitator. But move consulting, I think. Just helping through like gathering all my shit for this visa application and everything, scheduling.
Because I mean, is it safe to say that this process there's been more little things than you anticipated? Like, is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. Compounded by the fact that it is so much more challenging because I'm trying to apply for a digital nomad visa. And I have 2 businesses. Both of them have a bunch of different ways where the income is getting together. So the easiest way to get a visa is if your boss sends a letter that says, oh, and here's your salary page. Here's your contract, right? And so
you're like, oh, great.
Oh, you make $60,000 a year, and your boss says you get to move anywhere. Easy, For me, it's like I kept coming up with well, how do I tell them what my job is?
Right.
Like, how do I show them where my income comes from? It's not as easy as all that. And so that's what part of the problem with the bank was. They were like, well, where does your money come from? How do you make money? And I had to highlight, well, I get my money from PayPal and from Squarespace and from, all of these different things, and color coded it. Here's the money that I got from Laura Allyson LLC. Here's the money that I got from AllisonDykhuizen.com. So
it's hard enough to do your American taxes, because we don't have drop down box kind of jobs.
Right.
It's like arts education.
Yeah.
Is that
right?
Travel consultant,
right.
kind of. So yes, my job is yes.
Right. Yeah. So it's just it's hard and super unconventional. And I obviously wouldn't have it any other way. And luckily, we're able to both kind of cobble together enough money to, live very comfortable, see Beyonce, take a car to see Beyonce, So luckily, to qualify for the digital nomad visa, you have to hit a level of income on average monthly. So you just want to make sure that when you get there, you're not just like, well, now I don't have a job and I need you to support me, Portuguese government. So they need to, make sure that's happening. And when it's hard to do that, I just really needed help. The thing that put it over for me was one of the first things you need to do is get a Portuguese Social Security number.
I was surprised about that. Yeah.
And applying for it, there was no translation. You needed to then hire a lawyer in Lisbon to give a power of attorney to go pick up the paper and then mail it to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, those are 17 steps that I don't know. And that's step 1.
Which again is where I feel like the transparency around this is really helpful, because you've talked about a couple of friends that that live internationally, that have made similar moves, that have had just random pieces of advice that you don't even, the unknown things
Yeah. Yeah.
that come into play. And I think having that perspective is just like really helpful and will help, hopefully, the people watching this now and in the future feel a little less anxious about the future of Laura and Allyson, because that partnership will still very much exist. It will just look different. They're going to have some different time zones available. Hopefully have some more people in European time zones be able to join the party. It's all part of our empire, which is very exciting.
Empire. Yeah. Which is great. Yeah, it would be 7:30 p.m. Portuguese time when we're doing this live, Laura. So that's easy. Yeah, that's easy. Throughout this whole week, people have continued to tell me how they can't wait to take weekday daytime classes.
Which is great. I mean, I've been seeing that with my in-person classes, that it is nice that that 10 to noon group keeps growing. And I think it's going to be great. I really do. So yeah, see, Leanne's in. Leanne joined me at Stitchworks. She's our person. Yeah. But there are more Leannes out there. I know it.
That's what they keep saying. People keep saying that it's easier to tell your boss to fuck off than it is to tell your kids to fuck off. Which, yeah, I can understand that.
But I've been talking to a couple of people where they're like, their workplaces are telling people, like, if you need to block out some daytime for mental health, like for classes, for like expanding your hobbies, like for mental health reasons, like you can have a standing appointment somewhere during the day, and we will offer that as like a time that you can take. And people have talked about using that to come to Stitchworks to take different classes, take different virtual classes. So it's a thing, and people will follow you. I know it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I do feel like when I started like really digging into this, my big question was, are they going to give me the visa? And now it really just seems like as long as you're jumping through every hoop that they set up, at the end of the line of hoops, they give you a visa. So now I'm like, I'm going, this is happening. I'm still in the hoop jumping process, but this is going to happen. I ahead of that appointment, I love my vet, Ravenswood Animal Hospital.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Like if you are in Chicago, they like every single time I needed anything, every single interaction has been lovely. They put 2 of my animals down. It was just like
glad you didn't lead with that, but yeah.
I didn't ask them to. They said, but just like every aspect of working with them is so good. Ravenswood Animal Hospital. I'll say it again. I went there with some questions about Royal. He's very anxious. We got to get him over. And the Dr. Nikki sat with me for over an hour, just like answering all my questions, doing research, like making a move plan. And it just like means so much that people are like interested, and she's kind of gone through shit like this before. One of her first questions was, well, when are you coming back? And I was like, well, hopefully never. And she's like, great, because this is a horrible process that takes forever and costs a shit ton of money. So if you're going to go for 2 years, I would say find someone to watch your animals and not take them with you. And I was like, yeah, we're going.
Well, that's a great example of like why that's a great vet right there, because it's an important perspective to have, that's good advice. But yeah, but it's also good to know what you're getting into, and demonstrates how much you've thought about this, and you're for real.
I'm for real. Yeah, I'm for real. So yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm really excited, making big changes for my website, classes moving forward, onward and upward. And yeah, I just feel really great about us, Laura, Laura Allyson, LLC, Laura Allyson Party, of course, our retreats, everything moving forward is going to be awesome. So yeah. that's the update today.
Yes. Yeah. And this is a great time for me to hard launch. I also have a move coming up. I am moving to Skokie, Illinois,
The
everyone.
Portugal of the
Yes.
Midwest.
The best joke that has been made in my Instagram DMs was that oh, I read an article that Skokie is the Porto of Illinois, which is so deeply funny. But yeah, that is probably the most lame sentence to follow up, like, oh, my business partner is moving to Portugal and I'm moving to Skokie. But there's a lot of you out there who are being extra nice to me, who have said, like,
I
hey,
fucking told
Skokie.
them to.
Yes.
Exactly. Listen,
Hey,
fix your
I
faces.
like the mall there. Sometimes I need to use my Kohl's cash, and I say, come on by. Well, let's go. But it is very it is, so when Allyson, she alluded to it in her hard launch. Yes, Karen, one of us. I'm becoming a suburbanite, which admittedly is less exciting for me. I am moving there because of my relationship.
Love.
I'm giving the thumbs up on Brooke. He's a great guy, and thumbs up on his kids. They're great kids. But they just happen to live in Evanston. So this is what we're up to right now. And it's going to give me more room to have, address some of this clutter, which will be very nice, and to focus up on important business stuff. I can store things for retreats to help further expand the empire. So it's good timing. Allyson and I have talked a lot about this, and we've had a lot of different theories about how this was all going to play out.
Yeah.
But this is what's happening. So we'll be Skokie and Porto. That, when you think of one, you think of the other. And yes. And but yes, that's really so my move is much shorter. It's about 20 minutes north. But so we'll still have an Illinois base as well, but that will just be one of the, expanding the knitting empire is only good. So that's what's
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I alluded to it. We're sunsetting our time in Chicago proper. We've both been here for a long time, Laura.
And yeah, I still, still love it here, and still love Chicago, but don't want to be a hypocrite and say that I live in Chicago when I do not. So I have given people a hard time about that for the last 20 years, and now I have to pay the piper, and admit that I will live in Skokie, but not yet. I'm coming to you live from Chicago, baby.
Yeah. 2 more glorious months, Laura.
That's right. And I am taking advantage of it. So, and this trip down to Soldier Field will be one of the many perks. It'll be a lot easier to get home than it will be in 2 months. So there we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was downtown for some other apostilling that I needed to do. And I was walking around and I was just like, wow, this is one of the last times as a Chicagoan I will be like in the loop. So it feels, it feels crazy, but yeah, I moved here in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 6 lifetimes ago. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, even, I've just had a couple of updates about stuff that happened 10 years ago, just like some news about some friends from 10 years ago, people moving, people having kids, people breaking up, and it's all seemed to like roll in these past couple of weeks, and I'm just like, yeah, it really was 10 years ago, like a full decade. Yeah, a lot has happened. Like a lot has happened. I was just downtown on whatever day, Tuesday, that sounds right, meeting a friend of a friend and their kid, and their kid is in their almost is turning 30, and they were like, it just feels like a lot of people that I was like collaborating with and doing art projects with and having all kinds of fun with in my 20s, like they're all kind of pursuing other things, they're moving, and I'm not really seeing them as much. And I was just like, some of that is about being an artist, but a lot of that is being turning 30. You know, I was like, that's a lot of what this, I was like, this is exactly the stage of life you're in. And then I'm like, oh yeah. And now in my 40s, like it's a new cycle.
Everyone's gone.
New cycle.
I feel like with COVID in there, a lot of people moved during COVID, left Chicago during COVID. And you know, a lot of people didn't come back. So there's a lot, especially where we live too. There's just like a lot of empty storefronts. There's a lot of, you know, so it just doesn't feel the way that it did when we were here. You know, it's just like there's just signs, like, you know, time to go.
But yeah, I mean, when I think like my Chicago was the Chicago of 20 years ago, and so it is. There's a silver lining to that though, where I can now sort of rediscover it, and it's been nice to like try new restaurants, like go to new venues, and like the fact that the city is changing means that it's still alive, and that's great. But it can make you feel like, was that really 10 years ago? Was that 20 years ago that I moved here? Whoa. So it's really something. But it, you know, thank you for using our joke that's not a joke in your post by saying that Chicago's a world-class city, because it really is, damn it. This is a world-class city. I love it. And I know you do too.
Yes, I definitely do. Yeah, I spent longer here than I did in Michigan growing up. You know, so yeah, and I, you know, on that note, I think Chicago is the best place in America to live. So if I'm ready to move, then that means that I'm ready to move out of America. And what better time, really, to get the fuck out of Dodge. So, so yeah, so that's the update. Pretty soon, things will change. Things will move. Things will move around. Different backgrounds. Yeah.
Yep, for all of us. But yeah, we're gonna have I'll have new lighting challenges, but it'll be great. We're gonna look great. I'm gonna invest in some big panels, because 40, we're gonna just knock out some of this texture. But it's good stuff, you know. And I think I don't really have a like perfect way to phrase this, but like there is so much uncertainty and like so much serious stuff that's happening every day, and we talk about how we're struggling with all of that. But for me, the lesson is like, you know, we absolutely know the importance of this community to all of you, because it's just as important to us. So these changes are about making changes that are positive for both of us, because we got to grab happiness where we can find it. And it's an investment in being able to stay there for all of you and to keep all of you in our lives. So, you know, that I can understand the initial reaction of like big change as scary, but this is in service of putting things in place to be around for a long time. So it's good news. It really is.
News. Yeah, good news. All right. Well, I would love to make a little pivot, actually, Laura.
Let's do it.
On your recommendation, I watched a program.
Oh, which one?
That I would love to talk to you about, because I have a lot of big thoughts and feelings.
Okay, I'm really hoping that it's the Four Seasons.
It's Four Seasons.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Are we spoilering?
Yes.
Okay, so spoiler alert for the new Netflix show, Four Seasons, starring Tina Fey.
And written by Tina Fey. Got Steve Carell, Will Forte.
Yes. Carrie, what's her name? From Reno 911. And Domingo Coleman.
Yes.
Ooh. Yes. Well, I've been dying. I'm so excited about this update. I would love to know, first of all, did you like it?
I think that after everything and thinking about it deeply and for a long time, I think I hated it. Okay.
All right. I knew it was going to go one way or the other. I did know that. So I'm prepared. I'm prepared for the critique, because I did like it.
So what was funny about it, and just for those of you who don't care, and we're spoiling it for you, I feel like even if you know what's happening, you can still like watch it. It's set up 4 seasons based on an Alan Alda movie, right? Which, for the record, I have not seen this movie.
Yes, I have.
I did,
and I
did like that Alan Alda like pops up.
That was a great cameo. Yes, it was.
That was sweet. Yeah, that was sweet. But it is 8 episodes, and 2 episodes exist in 4 seasons. And so for a year, you're kind of like learning the characters, and it's 3 couples. Right?
And it's all centered around vacations they take with each other in each of the 4 seasons.
Yes. So in spring, you find out that Steve Carell is unhappy in his marriage and that he's going to divorce his wife. In summer, he, of course, immediately starts dating a 30-year-old. And then in fall, they kind of deal with the fallout of the divorce and him.
See what they did there? Fallout
of the divorce, and Steve Carell continuing to be with this younger, much younger woman. And then in winter, he dies.
Yeah, big spoiler, big deviation from the movie as well.
So what I was really interested in all the characters, and I was very, very interested in how it was going to end, because there's a lot in flux, and of course with the other couples, there are also things that are like happening between the couples, and I was very interested in how all of that would play out. And I stopped watching about literally 35 seconds before they kill off Steve Carell.
Which, if I can say too, I do not like how it ended, because it's but yes, I can see why. I can see, because that could have ended there. Like, it could have ended there.
Because he's like, he gets in like a little fight with his girlfriend, but he like thinks about it and is making changes.
And he's like, he's growing, yeah.
And then they kill him. And so then for like, I don't know, 24 hours, I was like, man, I'm so excited to go back to that show. Like, I can't wait to see like how this plays out and like how it's going to end. And then I hit play, and then literally like I picked up my teacup and I took a sip, and then it was like, oh, Nick's dead. Yeah. And I was like, you must be joking. And then the last episode, episode 8, for me, was so bad that it ruined the entire show. And it reminded me, Laura,
they did not stick the landing, that's for sure.
It reminded me viscerally of how much I hated the the season of Gilmore Girls, which was the exact same seasons thing, and
so
ends on the exact same line.
Oh shit. Yes, it does. Hadn't thought about that. And the
one character, sorry, Laura.
No, you're fine.
The one character in Gilmore Girls who was actually showing like growth and change and like finding her own way was Grandma.
Yep. Emily.
And the one character who was changing his life and making himself happy and making decisions and, finding a path and changing and growing was Nick.
Yeah.
And they killed him.
Yep.
And then they continue to fuck up his whole funeral, blaming this 30-year-old the whole time, and everyone's just letting Tina Fey off the hook when she's fucking up everything left and right, and everyone's like, oh, it was great. I was pissed. Okay, now I'm quiet.
No, don't be. I mean, I'm so glad that you watched it. The ending for me was a shame, and I think but I also feel like I'm becoming deadened to the fact that like I think that I really like the original movie. It's very dated, and doesn't go, it reaches a lot of like 1980s conclusions about relationships that I think they get more nuanced about relationship dynamics in this version of it. But there is no Four Seasons 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like, it was one movie and one observation, and you picked it up and you left it. And I don't think, because I was disappointed in this ending, because I was like, it perfectly sets up a season 2. And I do not think that there needs to be. I don't. I think that what's interesting about the show is the nuance and the little observations that it has into people's dynamics.
Agree with you.
And I, in particular, really like what they did with Coleman Domingo's husband, who is this Italian gentleman who is like smoking hot. And you kind of think you're seeing things through Tina Fey's eyes, where she's like, what a beautiful idiot that you have married. He's the most useless man on the planet. And he's like a little poodle, but he really has emotional depth and is a really good partner to Coleman Domingo. And like, they are able to fight in a really productive way. And I don't think that you often get comic relief characters who have that level of depth, and I appreciated that as like a more nuanced gay character than you normally get in something like that.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, absolutely.
But then the ending, like that whole thing, to me, it went off the rails because of the inevitability of like, well, they have to have a second season, and they really didn't. I just would have loved that to just not.
I won't watch it. It's unrealistic to think that they shit on this girl, this 30-year-old, for 3 seasons, and she's, spoiler alert, pregnant with the dead guy's baby.
I hated that.
If I am pregnant with a baby from a man who just died, and his friends have been mean to me,
said to all of them to their faces that they are terrible.
Yeah, I would just say thank you for this beautiful funeral and goodbye, never see you again, and keep that. I'm not telling a guy, because then you're stuck with them forever, because that baby is their last chain to Steve Carell's character. No, I am sailing in the sunset. I'm deleting my Facebook. Like, I will never talk to these people again. It is unrealistic to think that that girl would be like, hey guys, guess what?
Great news.
I'm having a dead friend's baby, and I'm going to tell you about it so that we can stay together forever. That's insane.
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, I think we're agreeing. I mean, like the ending was bungled, but for sure. But yeah, I think I was happy with the exploration of the couple dynamics. They got into things in a more nuanced way than I'm used to, frankly. Tina Fey going into things like she is one of my problematic faves. I really like her, but she doubles down on her point of view really hard, and I worry.
Feel like she did that exact same thing with the relationships that she has with Will Forte in the show.
That's the most interesting relationship, I think.
And they just take a giant shit on it at the end, and you're supposed to like be rooting for them when obviously her character has created this baby man, and then she's mad at the baby man. And I'm supposed to be rooting for them? No, baby man, get out of there. She's a psycho, and she's mean to you. And then she ruined that entire funeral to make a point, and nobody said shit to her about it.
No. And but I thought that was an interesting way to write it, to show her ruining it. It's like that was interesting, but then she needs to have consequences.
There are no consequences.
Yeah.
So it's so you don't get that like, oh great, there's like a resolution to this, because there's no resolution. Like, they have a little moment at the end, but even that, I'm like, no one is gonna tell her what a fucking asshole she's been.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought in that pause right before the car accident that kills Steve Carell, I really thought he was gonna like take his groceries that he was buying and then drive and go spend New Year's Eve with his friends, and they were gonna break up. And then this last episode was all of that, which I think could have saved the show. They were gonna break up or at least take some time off, and then the fourth episode is just more unpacked, like is Tina Fey and Will Forte separating, like everybody kind of exploring single life and like these different dynamics. And I think that would have been a more interesting place to take it, because I really worried the most about Tina Fey's ability to write the young girlfriend as a remotely interesting character. They didn't make her dumb, but they still didn't really go there because Tina Fey has a real hard time not being dismissive of people younger than her. She just really does. And she appears to work on it, and then she just falls back into the old habits.
Yeah.
Whatever would happen with season 2, I'd be very uninterested, because she will not make that interesting.
No. I think that I was thinking that Steve Carell was going to bring all that food back to the kids and stay with his girlfriend, but then on the next day be like, hey, like this was so fun, like I love, like thank you for including me, I'm just gonna jump up and like spend the next night with my friends, and then I'll come pick you up, and then we'll go home. That's how I thought it was gonna be. And then I guess she can be pregnant if she wants to. That's fucking crazy. But that's funny. It's always funny having a 56-year-old man with a baby. I'll do that. And what would that do to dynamics in the friend group? Like, that's interesting.
It is. Yeah. And then you can flesh the daughter out more, and
I thought their relationship was really good. And I felt like the young girlfriend helped Steve Carell have some really intense conversations with his daughter. I felt that that was well done.
Which, that, and to credit to Alan Alda, like that does happen in the 80s movie too. Like where the young daughter goes to the parent, it's like parents' weekend, and she's just like, you told me something different, and like you need to go hang out with her. Like this is I'll be fine. You really fucked this up. Like but I don't think that's Tina. I think that's the source material, and that's disappointing. But yeah.
And I think it's just so cheap to give women's only value in the fact that they can have a baby.
That is a shame. That is a
Every
shame.
Time.
I thought it was interesting, the strawberry lady thing.
Yeah.
That you've talked about, like the turtle lady, anyway, I'm not interesting for the audience to watch.
For years.
Penguin, yes.
Yeah, I got penguin.
But you've had that observation for years about how people do that, and I just loved when she was knocking them off the balcony.
Those strawberries off. Yeah. But yeah, so 6.5
Fair
episodes
enough.
I thought were really, really good, but the episode and a half at the end ruined the whole thing for me, for sure. It was there was
Fair
just
enough.
no messaging.
Fair enough. I just like it as a what's that word? But like I like the structure, the potential that structure has, and the way that it allows you to explore relationship dynamics, I think is really interesting.
Yes.
And so that part, I just really enjoyed watching the nuance that was happening.
Yes.
And some of the characters, I really thought, again, the Italian guy, I thought that relationship was very refreshing.
Yes.
But I kept waiting. You were right. I kept waiting for payoff or something to go on with Tina Fey and Will Forte, because they were friends. They were at the baseline of it friends. And
and I don't like the messaging that they went to therapy and things got worse for them. I don't like that messaging either. That's
but I also kind of felt like he was starting to realize that he didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. Wow. It's like that was where it was going, but I don't know. worth a watch for 6.5 episodes to hear
I
your
agree.
all's opinion.
And
But because there are
Carell
some
looks
funny jokes.
amazing. Oh
He
my
looks
God.
great. Everyone's
What a
clothes are
fucking
great, actually.
silver goddamn fox. As a 41-year-old woman, I would fuck Steve Carell today. I would do it.
And you get some really great physical comedy when he steps on the sea urchin. That's so funny. Like it is very funny. But yeah, it is interesting.
Thank you, Maya. Yes.
It is
much
interesting
higher.
to go back and think about it. Like as I'm replaying it in my mind about like what a control freak Tina Fey is and like why, how that dynamic, like she has to control everything, and if she can't, it's like Also, I thought it was funny when they were trying to play that game at the eco resort.
I know.
That's what it's like trying to play games with Brooke and I. Wait, is purple green and then the greens are purple 5 times out of 10?
You can't do it to orange, but you can do it to the yellow or the second orange.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're like, let's go drink.
Let's go drink more. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. That rang true. That was cute. But yeah, it had some good moments.
Yeah,
but yeah, just the ending was so bad and honestly offensive.
Yeah, I mean, it would just, I think that's another 2-hour discussion we can have about how the art and commerce and how Netflix now, like, if they don't do standalone miniseries anymore, and they are just like, nope, set up a sequel, and it sucks. Like some things can stand alone and be way more interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then I will talk to you later this afternoon on the way to Beyonce about Miss Austin, because I watched it. Yeah.
I can't wait. I loved it. Did you hate it?
Guess what? I loved it. Yeah, no, I really, really liked it.
So good.
I really liked it, but I wish there was a sequel. No, I don't. It was a good standalone. It was a good standalone thing. And the woman that they cast to play Jane Austen really looked like those portraits of her, and I loved that.
So good. Yeah, so good. Everyone's great. All right, everyone. Well, if you watch 4 seasons, let us know. We want to hear. Probably won't know.
I do. I think it's interesting, but I get Allison's criticism. She is not wrong at all.
Neither is Laura. The parts that you loved were exactly lovable. Like
there's some literal LOL moments. There really are.
Yeah. So. When the guy started playing guitar, when they first find out that Steve Carell's dead, I about died.
It was incredible.
So
like
funny.
And then just like luring him into the hot tub to see if he hooked up with him or not. I mean, it's so funny. Anyway,
yeah,
a lot of hijinks. So
a lot of hijinks.
6.5 episodes.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go to Beyonce, and we'll catch everybody later. All right. Bye.
Bye.